Before I give you the proper pronunciation of this case, I think there's a couple of things that are important to remember. First off, the definition of this word is a song of triumph or praise. So this is an excellent, elegant name for this case. Second off, we're adults now. Things like fart and poop jokes, we've grown past that. We've matured past that. We find humor in better things, not, you know, little 3-year-old things. It's the Paean. What is up, everybody? So I am back and with a new review of a new computer case. It seems like I've been getting a lot of cases lately, but I do really like cases, so can't say that I'm complaining about that. Just an observation. But we got another product from Raijintek, and this time it's their Paean open bench case. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this guy. We're going to see how well it measures up. You can kind of see a little bit of how it's stacking up already with my build right here. But before I get too much farther, as always, I'm going to do a quick mention to Epic Gear. Of course, they're sponsoring my channel. I absolutely love their equipment. I definitely recommend you check them out, especially their keyboards. And honestly, their modular mouse design is fantastic. 2 mice in 1. So I'll have those links in the description below, but we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Build, assembly, and then we can go straight to a conclusion. Okay guys, so you know I'm not typically super fond of unboxing videos, but this is also a completely new kind of case. So yeah, not every day you get a case that you have to completely assemble. Everything is packaged extremely well for this though. So I just want to show that off real quick. You know, this is essentially a bench case. So seeing it all put together like this and come out of the box like this is pretty fantastic. All right, I'm gonna start putting pieces together and kind of go through it step by step. Raijintek, what are you doing? It is fantastic. So this motherboard tray is just a super solid, thick piece of metal. Just feels great to pull out of the box. So the first step to install is really pretty simple. You've got these handles here, and as you can see, there's like a threaded end on this one, and this one's a little bit shorter, and then this one's a little bit longer, and they just screw right in. Really simple. Obviously, I've done the other 3 already, but you just push it right through the hole, screw it on in, and bam. You are good to go. So yeah, first step, super easy, really great. Okay, so this is already the first thing I really am liking about what I'm seeing here. They take the thing that we are super familiar with and use it. So thumb screws, you know, things that we've always used in our cases. All I'm gonna have to do, there's a couple of holes here. Looks like they want us in the instructions to, come on camera, you can do it, use these larger holes to put the thumb screw into, and then screw it onto the back there. So I'll get that on there and let you know if there's anything weird and move on to the next step. Well, this case is turning out to be stupidly easy on all kinds of levels. So went ahead and got the rest of these brackets, everything just with a thumb screw. It's almost easier to use your fingers than to even try to use a screwdriver. I mean, it just kind of falls out, and then when you use your fingers, it just goes right in. So I guess that's the way everything's supposed to be. But yeah, everything, just thumb screws. There's things that have multiple holes on these 2 brackets, the VGA and the PSU bracket, and that's because the way the holes line up, they just might go through with each other, but it was very carefully thought out to make sure that the ends of the screws wouldn't push out or do anything. So that's fantastic. Thumb screws, turn that in. So they also include a nifty little PSU bracket so that if you have like a really long power supply, you can go ahead and just stick that there and kind of help hold that up, which is not bad. Then there is the USB ports. So of course this is just 4 3.0 ports. I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy about that. But here's the thing. They give you options to install it like up here or over here in the front, or they even have a spot to where if you want to put the case down on its back, you can have it down here in the bottom so it'd be facing out to you. This is like a heck of a bench case. So yeah, let me go ahead, finish getting this guy installed, and then we'll start looking at putting components on. Whoops, I almost ran into one tiny little hitch. When you're installing the USB thing, it does not use the traditional thumb screw. It actually has a longer, skinnier one that's in the separate bag with the other stuff. So just keep that in mind. Remember to use the right thumb screw for the USB port, but it's pretty obvious because it'll only thread into these ones. So unless you really just force it, you're gonna figure that out really quick. Okay guys, I just wanted to point out this PSU real quick. So yeah, I mean, what do we expect? Everything's pretty simple right up front, but I just really want to point out this PSU bracket. So yeah, you throw your PSU in and screw it in like you normally would, but then they got a nice little bracket here to help reinforce and hold it up. Fantastic, really good. I'm gonna start throwing components in now and get a good look at what this case is gonna start to look like. Okay, a couple things I noticed here in the back before I move on. For starters, one thing that you're gonna have to be careful about with this case, I've got the radiator installed here, and if you notice, this is a 280 millimeter rad, but I'm actually using the 120s. My hoses are a little short, which is surprising because it's an NZXT crack and they're usually not too short. But this thing is definitely designed more for custom cooling than necessarily all-in-ones. And I don't know that I totally put that on Raijintek because it'd be kind of nice if those hoses were just a little bit longer on this unit. Also noticed something else. So they've got two 3.0 headers here. They also just split into a USB 2.0 as well. That's kind of fantastic. So you can kind of use whichever one you need. Interesting. All right, let's move on. Okay, so at this point I don't even want to belabor this review any more than I have to. Everything goes in super easy. I mean, it's an open bench case, but the cable management slots are excellent. Everything is, I don't know if I should say it's what I expect or exceeds expectation. I mean, it's just doing fantastic. You can see here I've got it in like a full bench position, and there's rubber kind of mount things that are good for setting it on the ends like that, or for when we install the glass panels. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up some cable management, and then we'll start looking at the finished product. Ah, it's glass! So yeah, gonna take a look at this cable management thing really quickly. It's glass! Okay, we're gonna look at this cable management thing real quick, and I've got the back panel on. So you might notice that by cable management, I didn't do any whatsoever. And dang, I mean, just look at how well it just routes everything, having the PSU in the back. And it's just, this is perfect for me because will be so easy to get in and out of this case and do the things that I want to do. But I almost forgot to grab one of these. For those of us who need to have perfect cable management, they've got these little guys, these nice little quick release cable manage ties that are just perfect. Now I didn't throw any of these in here because this 3M tape that they put on here sticks really good. And I'm not sure I want to commit to having something permanently on the back yet. Kind of want to feel this case out for a while before I make any permanent decisions, or maybe get some nicer looking cables for my builds. But anyway, also hard drive. It's just really easy. They've got these nice little mounting screws that have the little rubber washer on them, and it just snaps right in. Just be careful when you're pushing your stuff in because you can pop your drive out. But yeah, and then there is two different screws. There's a kind of a coarser thread that's meant for larger hard drives, and then there's a finer thread that's meant for your solid state drives. So keep that in mind so you don't cross thread. I almost tried to cross thread my solid state drive and then stopped and realized, you know what, they bet you have different screws. They did. All right, let's turn this baby around. Okay, so I did run into my first official problem in this process, and it is still kind of minor, but it is something that you need to be a little concerned about. So I could not get this glass panel to go on all the way. I've just got it lightly screwed in, but it's actually hitting the power cables on my graphics card right there. My graphics card, because of the Aorus design on that cooling, sticks out too far. So, you know, if Raijintek would just get these little posts to stick out maybe about an inch further, probably would remedy a lot of issues. Also help with like if people are using CPU coolers for clearance. But you know, as for me, I will mostly be leaving this completely open anyway for easy access in and out. Minor complaint, and you could also even washer it out to get that little bit extra space if you needed to, but you really shouldn't have to do it. So yeah, if you just look at maybe making these posts a little bit longer to just overkill that space, be fantastic. Of course, if you're doing custom liquid cooling, which is what this case is designed for, you shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. So obviously I don't have custom blocks on that GPU. Great looking case, excellent quality. Let's go ahead and wrap up this review. Overall, it looks like we have an excellent design here by Raijintek. I mean, as far as open bench is concerned, very accessible, very easy to build in, which is what you want with an open bench. But on the flip side, as far as looks are concerned, it looks much nicer than your typical bench case. And that's a huge win right there. Huge, huge win for Raijintek, giving a nice looking bench case. Of course, we did run into the problem with these posts not coming out long enough. So if you've got some graphics cards that have like a large shroud on it, sort of like the Aorus one does, or the power connectors going out the side, can be a little tight. But if you're also using it as an open bench, you may not want a glass panel on there all the time anyway. Here's where this case is really going to shine though, and that's with custom liquid cooling loops. Because there, the blocks in the tubing are going to be very well tucked away, plus you're going to be able to customize the length so you don't have to worry about if your custom liquid cooler has quite enough reach on that hose or not. There is just enough, so it's not a huge deal, and there would be some very easy improvisation to do with a closed loop like that. But I feel like this case is designed for the custom liquid cooler and the person who really wants to go in and out of it a lot. So there's things that, in my opinion, are not terrible. Raijintek is asking $166 currently on Amazon. Now that price might fluctuate a little bit. It lists for close to $180 on Newegg. And that's a bit pricey. I mean, we're talking about a fairly hefty price premium to be able to grab one of these things for yourselves. At the same time, we're talking about an extremely thick and sturdy aluminum panel there that all your components go on. I mean, everything just holds together really tight. Everything's machined near perfectly. We're talking about really thick. I mean, these are some of the thickest, if not the thickest, glass panels I felt on any kind of glass panel case. They do make them quite a bit heavier, but it's kind of worth it. We've got huge amounts of quality here. I think the biggest issue is that if you want a bench case that looks nice, you're going to be hard pressed to find something that's quite going to suit your needs as well as what Raijintek has to offer. So maybe I'm just too generous. Maybe I just love computer hardware too much. But I feel like I have to give them an editor's choice, namely because they're doing something that is just so rare. And if you start looking at a lot of other display or open cases that are similar, you can easily start jumping up over $200, which means that their pricing really is not that bad, even if it seems a little bit high compared to some of your budget cases. So there we go. Pure Overclock Editor's Choice Award. I do really like this case a lot. It's just a very good, high quality design, and it was a lot of fun to have and build in. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know how you like the way I do the build and the walkthroughs and everything else. Just, you know, keep me posted. I like input and like to keep trying to grow and evolve and try to make sure that these videos are the best I can possibly do with considerations to my time and, well, ability. I will catch you later.